So an update on Spencer Strider as he is at the All-Star game and going to probably make his appearance and this, that, and the other. So Strider, we talked about this before the beginning of the year. Strider now sits at 11-2, leads the league in wins, and he leads the league in strikeouts. So when you look at, he's got two of the three, triple crown, honors as far as in baseball. Leads the league in wins, leads the league in strikeouts with 162, leads the league in strikeouts per 9. No real shock there. But we talked about this before the beginning of the year. Could he break John Smoltz's modern day record, which is 276 strikeouts in 1996? Now, again, we're not counting 19th century records because there are guys that have more strikeouts than John Smoltz does, but that's, again, 19th century. We're talking 20th century and forward. And the modern day record is 1996 to 276 strikeouts. So one interesting thing that I came across was the fact that, and I'll give, this is from Brady Farkas of Fan Nation, talking about the idea that Strider is in a category with Max Scherzer, and this is from ESPN Stats and Info. So Spencer Strider is the second player in the All-Star era. So that is since 1933. Second player since 1933 to strike out 160 batters and allow 80 or fewer hits entering the All-Star break. He joins Max Scherzer in 2017 when Scherzer went on to take home the NL Cy Young Award. So again, Strider and Scherzer are the only two guys in the All-Star era, that's since 1933, to have 160 strikeouts and allow 80 or fewer hits at the All-Star break. Now, we've talked about this before, just with the idea of Strider is more than just a strikeout pitcher, right? The strikeouts stand out big time when you're talking about what he does and what his DNA is, but he's a guy that doesn't allow himself to get into tons of trouble. He doesn't allow himself to get into giving up a whole bunch of hits or a whole bunch of walks or a whole bunch of home runs. When he does get himself into trouble, that's when those things start to escalate. But by and large, he's a guy that doesn't give up a ton of hits. We talked about the idea that for a lot of the first part of the year, he was leading the league in fewest hits per 9 innings. So he's not a guy that gets himself in a lot of trouble. But right now that his pacing puts him at, so he's got 166 strikeouts through 18 starts. So he's averaging 9.22 strikeouts per start. Okay. So he's got 14.6 strikeouts per 9 innings and all this good kind of stuff. But right now he averages 9.22 strikeouts per start. If he gets himself to 30 starts, which again, he's got 18 now, barring any injury, he'll certainly be at, 30 starts for the year. He'll finish the year with 277 strikeouts. So even if he just gets to 30 starts, okay, now he's on pace for not quite 36 starts, but if he just gets to 30 starts at this pace, and there's no reason to think that he's going to slow down or his velocity is going to decrease or what have you, that there's no reason to think that he's not going to stay on the same kind of pace that he's been on. He'll get to 277 strikeouts in 30 starts. And if he gets 32 starts, I mean, he'll blow the number away. In fact, he'll be probably close to, almost 300 strikeouts. And we've talked about all of these things on the podcast at the beginning of the year. Could Strider be that guy? Could he finish with the Braves record? Could he finish with 300 strikeouts? I mean, again, it's all, in realistic territory now that we've got, the faux midway point. Again, the Braves have played 89 games at this point. So, but again, it's the Midsummer Classic, right? So again, we're halfway through the season and a few games beyond all of that. But Strider's on that pace to set all of those records. And again, you talk about Strider and just what an outstanding year that he has had. I don't know if he's the first guy you think of, in winning the Cy Young and this, that, and the other. I know that certainly he's been an all-star and well-deserved and leading the league in wins and leading the league in strikeouts. Again, he's proven that, even with the 3.44 ERA, that's not a tremendously, high number or whatever. That's not Nolan Ryan, a guy who struck out 5,000 guys, and yet he would walk, 3,000 guys and give up a whole bunch of hits and stuff like that. It's not like that. This guy is a very efficient pitcher. But again, Strider's in rarefied air, and there's no reason to think that he can't break the record, the modern day record that's held by John Smoltz in 1996. Smoltz had the 276 strikeouts. There's no reason to think that if he stays healthy, and fingers crossed that he is healthy, because again, that's been one of the stalwarts of him, is just the fact that he has been a healthy pitcher, and he has been a guy who you can give the ball to every fifth day, and he's been out there, working it, where again, with all the injuries that the Braves have had on their pitching staff, he's been one of the three guys, with Morton and Elder being the other two, that you've been able to rely on all season long. So again, it's all good news. I mean, again, the Braves had 8 All-Stars. I love the photo that was put out on Twitter, on social media, and all that, where you see all 8 Braves that are standing side by side. I mean, again, 8 Braves at the All-Star game. And that's well-deserved. Look, they're the best team in baseball, best team by far in the National League. They have the runaway MVP, and again, they may end up with the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner when all is said and done. We'll see, but Strider is certainly on that pace right now that he's in line to break Smoltz's modern-day record of 276 strikeouts, which Smoltz had in 1996. We'll see if it happens, but there's no reason to think that it won't at the end of the day. All right, thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with John Chuckery your first listen. Be sure to go in and leave us a comment on whatever podcast platform that you listen on. Let us know that you're an everyday listener to the show. So we call them our everydayers. We thank you so much for being a part of our ever-growing community. We ask you to subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Get the latest episodes of Hittin' Hard as soon as they become available. Also, check us out on the Sirius XM app and give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Back with you tomorrow. This has been Hittin' Hard with John Chuckery, Locked on Sports Atlanta.